Hello, scrapbooking buddies. We are going to create 4 pages today, and we're going to create them from the Open Road Creative Memories 2, Open Road 2 theme pack. Theme packs come with 4 sheets of double-sided paper, 2 sheets of designer stickers, and 1 sheet of cardstock. Now, I take these and I turn them into 4 pages if it's a theme pack. If it's a regular Creative Memories paper pack, I turn it into 8 pages, and it's called Paper Pack to Pretty Pages. So you will be able to go to that website and download the instructions to make this with me if you'd like. Let me go ahead and show you that. You can get your free PDF at paperpackstopretttypages.square.site. And if you don't have our CM advisor already, you can also get your supplies at this website too. Okay, so let's get to creating. So we're creating 4 pages today, and with the instructions, it tells you exactly what you need to do and when you need to do it. So the instructions that you will receive look like this. It tells you exactly what you'll need, which is the Open Road 2 theme pack, 2 pieces of light gray cardstock, a tape runner, repositionable tape, foam squares are optional. You'll need a 12-inch trimmer, a ruler, scissors, and a geometric frame punch. Now, if you don't have that one, you can use any of the large punches too. This one just has a fun kind of global look. So we're going to be using that today. And each time it'll tell you what papers that you're cutting out. So right here, we're going to be taking 2 papers that we're going to be cutting out of this pack. And one is the locator. It looks like little locators. And the other one is the one that looks like mats. So it looks like this. We're going to be cutting that, and we're going to be cutting 1 piece of our light gray cardstock, okay? So we pull those out. Those are the ones we're going to cut, and then we go to step 1. Step 1 says that go to page 3, and on page 3, there will be a cutting guide, and it'll look just like that. And on the top of the page, it'll also remind you what papers you're cutting. So we're cutting the blue locator paper and 1 piece of the light gray cardstock. So we'll start with those 2. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut everything ahead of time and then just put our pages together. So we'll take our 12-inch trimmer and we'll start with this one. Once again, the cutting guide is right here for us. Okay. And it's a 2 by 12-inch strip. So we'll put that into our trimmer at the 2-inch line. Okay. And then do a straight cut. And we'll pile all of our strips up and all of our mats together. So then we do another 2-inch cut. Okay. Then we're going to do a 4-inch cut. So we take that to the 4-inch line. And just make sure that's nice and straight. Now we're going to need to pull the arm out because we're going to do a 6-inch cut with this because we're making some mats. And you'll just put that to the 6-inch line and go ahead and cut that. Pile that there. And then we'll put this back in. And not all paper you're going to notice is exactly 12 by 12. So if you like your mats all being exactly the same, just double check that. Sometimes it's going to be fine. Sometimes it's going to have a little fine strip just like that. Okay. And you throw that away, and then we're going to put that into the 6-inch line one more time and do 2 more mats. Now we're going to do this also again, the same exact cuts with our light gray cardstock. So we put it in to do the 2 by 12. Okay, 1 more 2 by 12. And then we're going to do 4 by 6. So we're going to do our 4-inch cut first. Okay. Turn it and do our 6-inch cut. Okay. Put that in our mats pile. And then double check your paper. Is it really 12 by 12? This one looks like it's pretty close. And turn around and put it into the 6-inch line. Okay. So now we have our mats cut. So we've done everything from step 1 of our cutting guide. We're going to move to step 2. It says cut up the strips and the mats from this paper pictured right here. We're going to cut everything apart except the one that's the tag and that says remember. We're going to leave these 2 together. Okay, so let us go ahead. And this is a good way to show you some of the features of this trimmer, because there are little tiny guides that are hidden that a lot of people don't know about that pop out from the edge. And what this is really nice for is because I'm going to want to cut straight on that line to get a nice straight cut. Okay, so I'm able to make sure that it's all lined up and nice and straight in there before I cut it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that, set that aside, and we're going to do that same thing again at the little bottom of the mountains here and line it up so it's nice and straight. Do that again with the cactuses. Just make sure that I put it in the, sometimes you think they're straight, and then when you go to cut, you're like, that's not straight. So it is kind of nice to have those little guides, okay? And then last but not least, our little farm scene here. So let's just see, that one's pretty straight at that end. It's a little bit off at this end, and cut. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and cut these mats also. Okay, so line that up. And these mats are great because you're going to be able to use them for journaling. You can use them for putting pictures. You could use it for a title. There's all kinds of fun things you can do with these mats. So go ahead and cut that. And we're keeping our mats all in a pile and our strips all in a pile. Then we're going to cut these two apart. Okay. And this one we're leaving together. We're not cutting those apart, but this one we're going to go ahead and use these for titles. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that we're cutting right where we want to cut for that. And those are our little titles. Okay, so we are now done with our trimmer. We can set that aside. And we make sure that we've done everything on step 1 and step 2. Then we'll go to page 2. Page 2, the instructions will always have like the layouts. It will tell you the base papers that you need. And so our base papers are going to be brown cardstock and the tan camper paper. So we go back to our paper pack that we got, our theme pack, and we are looking for the brown cardstock and the tan camper paper. Okay, set that aside. And then we just look at our directions, and it says take 2 of the 2 by 12 inch light strips and punch them with a geometric punch. So let me show you how to do that. So we take 2 of our strips that we cut out of the cardstock. This is the Creative Memories geometric punch. The punches have a lock on them, so they store in your bag really nice. So you unlock the lock, and then there's little tiny lines in here, which just tells you where to start. So when I am going to start with this, we'll just spread that apart so you can see. I'm going to start it on that inside line. Okay, I want to make sure I'm getting a nice straight line here, so I push it all to the back. And then as we bring it over, there's a blue design right here. We're trying to cover up that blue design with what we just punched. And punch again. And we just keep repeating that step as we go all the way down. Also making sure that we push this all the way to the back so that we're getting a nice straight edge. Because if it goes like this, it's going to be a little wonky when it's cut. So we are going to continue doing that all the way down. And then the last one, just make sure it's lined up nice and kind of push it back. Now hold over here for the last one, just so it doesn't move. And if there's a little extra, just pull it off. So we're going to repeat that again. These are really fun. There's lots of fun things you can do with this. You can cut the other side. It almost looks like a globe. You can kind of make a snake feature with it. There's just a ton of fun things to do with that. So we're going to do this one more time. Put it in. And bring it all the way down. Line it up. Continue to work all the way down. All of our large punches work the same. Some of them you can do borders with. Some of them you can do full pages. There's a ton of fun ideas with these. Okay. So now we have our punches ready. We will just clean this up and bring our pages back together. So now we're ready to start putting our pages together. So we go back to our directions, and it says that we've punched with the punch. Now we're going to adhere that to the top of both pages. So this is a good example. I love using the repositionable tape, and I'm going to show you why. because it goes on and just sticks. It's clear and it just sticks at the top of these, so you can't see. It doesn't stick to my table, just sticks to the top of this. So I like using that for anything because it would take forever to go through and put a little tape runner on this. Then I'm going to put just a little bit of regular tape runner on this one. And then I'm going to get the other one ready to go too. Once again, I'm using the repositionable tape on this. And a little bit of the tape runner underneath it. Okay, so we're ready to add these to the top of both of our pages. So we're flipping it around and we're just touching the top of the page all the way down and stick it down. We're going to do the same thing on this end. Line it up so it's nice and straight. Make sure we get it on the end and just put it on the top of that page. So we look back at our directions and it says that we're now going to take the 12-inch sticker and apply it on there. So when I'm applying stickers, feel free to do what you want with them. You might have a better idea, and this is a starting point for you. I'm taking the green stickers and I'm going to run them straight down the middle just to make this pop a little bit more. But if you wanted to put it on the edge, you can do whatever you want with them. So I'm going to continue this here. So it looks like it's just continuing from one page to the next, and put it down all the way down across the top. Okay. Next, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put on the bottom. On the bottom, I've used the cactus because this is kind of a generic travel road page. And then on this side, I used the water and the boat. So say you did it like this, you're like, I'm not going anywhere, there's cactus. You can always flip it around and kind of give it another look, okay? But sometimes when you're traveling, you get to see everything. You get to see mountains, you get to see farmland, you get to see cactuses. So you just choose what you want and how you want to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to the bottom of my page, like that. And add this one to the bottom of my page. Okay, just like that. So now we're ready to start adding our mats on, okay? So we're gonna grab our stack of mats, and I am using one of the locator ones over here, and I'm gonna use one over here, and then I'm gonna use one of my 4x6, and I love 4x6 mats because your pictures are typically taken in a 4x6 format, and you can always trim off like 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch on two sides and have a perfect mat. Now I'm going to go ahead and add this fun little postcard here. You could put a small picture on this side. You could journal on it. It could be the title page. You could do whatever you wanted with that. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of lay them out the way I like them on the page and kind of duplicate it on this side. I'm going to do a little sticker cluster here and here. So we're going to leave that open. Okay. And I think that looks pretty good. So let's going to take this down just a smidge. And I kind of like to make them both the same on both sides. So once you get it the way you want it, go ahead and adhere that down. Now, not everybody likes to put mats down because they're like, well, what if my pictures are going to go the other direction? So you are going to go ahead and you're going to take pictures and you're like, now they're going this direction. So here's a couple tips for you. You can just take this adhesive, use repositionable adhesive, and instead of sticking this down all the way like I just did, you could just put a little bit of it and just put it down like that, so that when you're actually ready to put your pictures down, that you would be able to lift it up. Some people like to not put them down at all. They would just pile the mats, do all the embellishments and do everything else, and then later on go back and put your mats in. So that's personal preference, and it just depends on how you like to scrapbook. So we're going to go ahead for right now, and we're going to stick all these mats down just so you can see it. And we're going to leave a little room here for a sticker cluster. We're going to come back over here. We're going to stick these mats down. And it up a little bit so there looks like they're kind of equal. And then we're going to go ahead and stick this one down. Okay, so now we are ready for a little bit of an embellishment. So I'm going to start with It's Time for Vacation, because I think that kind of goes good up here. And I'm going to go ahead and add this right above there. Okay. I am going to do like a little sticker cluster down here. So I'm going to do Making Memories Every Mile. Now, I love foam squares. Not everybody does. But you can use them here and there in your album and still not make it too what people call puffy. I think it just adds a little bit of dimension. Okay. So I use them, but that is a personal preference thing. So you just decide what you like. So we're kind of putting that down here. I'm going to add a couple little tiny stars in here. Making memories. Okay. And then we're going to come over here. We're going to do a little cluster over here. And I'm going to start with Life is Short, Take a Road Trip, which it certainly is. So let's just kind of put that in here, like here. And I'm going to put a few little trees in the background here. Now I'm going to add a little camper in here. If you don't camp or you don't want to have a camper, you don't have to add that, okay? I am going to actually put, like it's on the road a little bit here, I'm going to add a couple foam squares to it just to give it dimension. Okay, add that in here. And I'm going to add one little tiny sticker down here. It says Taking the Scenic Route. Okay, and we're going to add that right in there. Okay. We're done with those 2 pages. That's how fast that was. And if you're working alongside of me, you can always feel free to pause the video and restart it and catch up to where I'm at. Okay, so we got our first 2 pages done. We're going to move on to our second 2 pages. It will tell you what the base papers are, which are the light gray and the blue locator paper. So let's grab those next. Okay. So those are our base pages. It says take 2 of the 2x12 locator strips, which are right here in our pile. And we're going to flip them over. So it kind of looks like a pattern road or maybe like fields with roads in it. Okay. And it says you can adhere about 1/2 inch from the outer edge. So if you want to, you can take a ruler. You can measure your 1/2 inch if you'd like. Or you can just eyeball it. I'm kind of an eyeballer. There are certain things that you have to have exact. Most of my paper pack to pretty pages, you do not. So I am just going to kind of put it where I think where I like it. Now I do want this side to match. So a little trick that I have is I will flip this one around just for the sake of sticking it down and trying to get it exactly the same. And then we will go ahead, line our papers up and line that up. That way you're getting it nice, you're getting it exactly the same. Okay, then flip that back around. So there we got our 2 pages and we're ready to start embellishing. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take the blue globe strips, and those were sticker strips. Now I originally put these on with little tiny foam squares, which look like this. And I love the way it looks. It really gives it dimension, but it also takes a little bit of time. For the sake of time, we're not going to do that today. But if you wanted to give it dimension, that would be great. So just you go ahead and stick that down on the inside edge of both pages. So we'll take the other one and put it on the inside edge of that page. Okay. And now we're ready to start putting our mats on, okay? We can, once again, I have a little farm border here we can use down here. We have little mountains and trees, but if you don't want to use those, flip those over, okay? You've always got options. So we're going to go ahead and adhere those to the bottom of both pages. I personally love taking a paper pack and turning it into 4 or 8 pages. I feel like I really get my money's worth out of a paper pack. I love having pages done and ready to go. I've been doing this for 23 years. My customers love it. I take almost every single paper pack or theme pack and turn it into pages. It's just a lot of fun. Okay, so we are ready to go ahead and start putting our mats on. So here we have one here. We're going to take the locator and flip it over. But if you like the locator paper up, go ahead and leave it up or leave it down. I kind of did one of each, but you can do whatever you like. And once again, if you decide you don't want to put your mats down, just do it all and don't put your mats down. Okay, so I have this, and this was the mat that we didn't cut when we did the mats. So I just have that put here. Now, here's some other options for you too. Like, I have this centered in this space, but if you put more pictures on the page, you can move this over. You could get another upright picture and probably a square picture on here too. So when you're doing My Paper Pack to Pretty Pages, go ahead and do whatever you like. These are just guidelines to kind of get you started. Okay, so when you get it laid out the way you want, you can go ahead and adhere those down. Okay. You've got the locator. These are going to be really, because when you put the picture down on this, you're only going to see a little bit of the edge, and that's going to look really cool. So, and we're putting the green on this side. Okay. And then this one, I'm going to go ahead and center this time. And I kind of want it to be the same distance from up there. And I'm eyeballing it a little bit. And let's stick it down. And then we're ready for a few little embellishments. Okay. When we're done, you're going to end up with a few stickers left. That's basically all you're going to have when you're done. So let's go ahead and take our stickers. Okay, and we are going to start on page 3. I started up here where the little tiny like road signs were, and this is where you need your scissors. You don't have to, but I kind of like the way it looked. And I started with the word adventure. You can put the word straight on there. I kind of trimmed a little bit of it off to kind of fit more into that little road sign that's already there. So I put adventure here in the first one, and then I did family was my second one. I trimmed that one off too. Put that in there in the middle, and then the last one I did was memories, and trim that one off, and trim that one off. Okay, and then that went into my third little sign. Okay, then we left this little space open, and I left that for a reason so that we could go ahead and put a little sticker cluster there. And what I used was these little round ones, and I did use foam squares on it. I liked the way it looked. So you can pick and choose what ones you like, but I kind of like these little round ones that go in there. But you're going to end up with road work ahead. You're going to end up with other stickers too. So if you want to switch that up, go right ahead. Okay. And then I went ahead and I did on the road again. Okay. I like that, and I did use a couple little foam squares and just to pop them up a bit. And I hope you're liking how this is going together. And I just put that down here in this corner. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and take the backing off my foam squares and just kind of fill this little space right here. Using your little GPS on your phone. And then a north, south, east, west. Okay. Then we come to this side over here. I put, are we there yet? Because my kids used to say this 1,000 times, no matter what road trip we took. And now my grandkids do it. So there we go. So I'm just going to throw this right in here. And then, let's see, I put a little heart up here, up right there. Okay, and I think we're done. You ended up with a little bit of your stickers left, and that's about it. We did 4 pages in about 26 minutes. Hope you enjoyed this. I have more videos. You can always click to subscribe to my page so you don't miss any videos. And once again, if you want the PDF for this, you just go to, so you can see it, it's paperpack2prettypages.square.site, and that would be a free one for you. So hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.